We were talking about celebrities, and we were people meeting celebrities. A P1 is on from named Aaron now, Myrtle Beach, who says that he has met a celebrity. We just heard from an anonymous P1 who says he accidentally sharted near Briny Baird. And not many people know who Briny Baird
Had
is.
a PGA Tour card for a time.
Yeah, yeah, he did, and accidentally in some cream-colored pants, messed his pants in front of him. Embarrassing. Aaron says he's got it topped.
I work down in Myrtle Beach and representing a certain club, and Snoop Dogg came to perform, and we were doing a feature for him on video, and I tripped over the stairs and pulled his pants down.
Whoops.
And, he was really cool about it.
He seems like he would be a really cool guy.
Yeah.
So
I love the guy.
So you accidentally grabbed onto his trousers and pulled them down.
I did.
All right.
And the sugar on top of the whole thing is 2 years later, he recognizes me and says, "Hey, you the guy that pulled my pants down?"
That's pretty nice.
I can't. He hung up.
Yeah.
We should have. Boxers or briefs? What the
yeah.
world needs to know. What is
Yeah.
Snoop wearing underneath his whatever?
That's a good question.
Who says he's wearing anything?
Could be.
Who was it?
And when he says, by the way, when he said club,
Mm-hmm.
you mean strip club?
That's what I was thinking, that he was at a strip. But he didn't.
He didn't say, but he said a
wouldn't say.
certain club.
He wouldn't say. The way he said it made me think, okay, he's working at a strip club. And
Would Snoop perform at a strip club? He would, wouldn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's making an appearance at a strip club,
Yeah.
maybe, and that's why he was there. You know, Chris Demm had a run-in with 50 Cent
Ooh.
years ago.
You know what?
Mhm.
I'm still sore at that.
You should be. We were waiting outside.
He was in a John Cusack movie called Frozen Ground.
Yeah. I don't. We don't recognize that
Yeah.
Cusack. There's another Cusack.
Joan nodded, and I don't
Joan
care.
not
Joan
in
is
it.
not in that one.
Why see it?
Don't care.
What's the point?
Yes.
Well, we were waiting here, Chris Dim and
It
myself.
was St. Patrick's Day of God knows what.
Doing a pub crawl. This is
Years
about
ago.
05, something like that. We're famous for our pub crawl.
Oh, yeah, we get out there.
Yeah. So we're waiting for our bus.
On a weeknight.
Thursday night? Or,
Maybe.
Well, St. Patrick's Day. And 50 Cent is coming to be interviewed by our sister station at the same time, having nothing to do with our bus. So Chris Dim and I are just waiting, standing there. And
We're just like counting heads, making sure that all the winners get on the bus.
And 50 Cent pulls up in his limo, and they get him out of the vehicle. Now, he'd been shot already 9 times. We knew that already. And these huge guys went over to Chris Dim. Not to me, oddly, but to Chris Dim and, boarded him off from 50 Cent.
They, linked arms.
Yeah, and I was
between me and 50.
Yeah, and I was looking at him like, does he look that much of a threat? That
Step back, Playboy.
Yeah, he did.
They know something.
They knew. Apparently, they must have had
Maybe
intel.
50 pulled up and said, that one.
That's the one.
He's the one.
From the back seat of the limo.
The scrawny one, boss?
Scrawny white guys bother.
Hey, keep your eye on him.
Yeah, he's the
With
one.
the green novelty hat?
Yes. That's the one. What about the beefy one? Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. They didn't care about me at all. I just stood there like, hey, Fitty. Hey.
Maybe. I don't think I look like the guy that shot 50 Cent 9 times.
You must have. I wonder. I don't know what that guy looks like, but maybe he's like, I don't trust that kind of look. One time it happened to me. They said, hi, welcome to McDonald's. Can I interest you in a yogurt parfait? And I said, no, thanks. And they're like, what do you want? Yeah, that's how it goes. Unfortunately, so far, it has only been 85% accurate.
That's not good enough.
No, they're saying they have to work on it. 15% of the orders have required employees to take over for the machine and redo it.
Is the menu too complex to have humans just touchscreen it instead of shouting out their orders?
No, I think the humans are too complex. I think there's too many additions or changes.
That's what I told you. That's when I ordered from that kiosk on the way back home from vacation a couple of weeks ago.
You were in the restaurant.
I was in the restaurant, but the guy said, we have no employees. They cannot take your order. They have to go cook, so you'll have to order from the kiosk. And 80% of the people in there went, no, and ran out. They didn't do it. They would not.
Right.
So I ordered.
But it took a while for Americans to understand, like ATMs drive up.
Yes, that's
And we
right.
handle those. Now they're much less complex.
And because you have to, like, if you want a quarter pounder with no onions, you'd have to.
Yep.
You know where we do that though is like when we're ordering pizza. If I'm getting like half with no pepperoni, you do that. When
Or you do it on your phone.
Yes, you do. That's right.
Not at a
Not
with
kiosk.
people waiting
Not-
behind you.
That's true. There's a lot of pressure there. McDonald's is also looking to add machines to its kitchen, installing robotic fryers and grills in the future, so that there would have to be nobody there making fries. The robot would make the fries.
We've
for the
heard
perfect-
whispers about the robot flippers, right? Before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you would have, like, the fries would be perfectly cooked every time. A human being would not have to remember.
Nothing could go wrong.
Nothing.
And I would sit here and say they're taking your jobs, but they're not. Nobody's working.
That's a good point.
Well, nobody's wanting the job
If
there.
they want, if McDonald's wants an out and say, hey, you're not putting people to work, say nobody's coming to work.
We're trying to get people to work, and nobody is working. So they're going. There's
no better time.
Maybe a function of they have to go to these robots. His shoes had too much white in them. They're tennis shoes, and they were black on top, but they had so much white around the sole, they were deemed improper. So one of the assistant principals said, "You'll sit, and you won't go across the stage." He was devastated. A lot of his family was there, and he said, "Is there anything I can do?" And she said, "No." Now, if this were a movie, I'd be playing the role of the...
You're the assistant principal all day.
We have standards.
That's right. Peters wore sneakers with white rubber soles. He wore a white dress shirt, but there was deemed to be too much white in the shoe. Enter teacher John Butler, one of Peters' favorite teachers. He ran over to him and said, "Mr. Butler, I am so upset. I'm not going to be able to walk across the stage." Butler's own daughter was graduating that same day, and they were chatting, and he says, "I don't understand this." So they went to the assistant principal together. And John Butler, the teacher, said, "Is there anything you can do?" And the assistant principal said, "No."
Sit down, Butler. You're on my short list.
In the movie, I will play the assistant
yeah.
principal, of course.
Toady, sweaty, ill-fitting half tie with a short sleeve shirt.
It's always the assistant that's
That's right.
the bigger dick.
Not the actual principal. That's
No.
right. Well, what happened next, says teacher John Butler, was a no-brainer. They were sitting, and moments before the graduation was set to begin, Butler said, "Take my shoes. I'll give you my shoes." Apparently, he has size 11, and the kid has size 9. And so they unlaced the size 9s and traded shoes for the night. And when the kid walked across the stage, his family said, "That can't be him. Those are not his shoes."
He's never had shoes like that.
They were not his shoes, but his grandmother and siblings, all confused as to why he was up on stage, later found out that this teacher, Mr. Butler, had given up his shoes. So they swapped shoes for the ceremony. Then after it was over, found each other and swapped back. Days later, the grandmother, the mother, the family called the teacher to say, "Thank you. You don't know what that meant to me." And the assistant principal had to sit and stew.
My office on Monday, Butler.
Is this a private school?
I don't know. Doesn't seem like it.
What a jerk thing for the vice principal to do.
It's exactly what I would have done. That's exactly what
Rules
I would
are
have done. I'd say
rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
What if he couldn't afford shoes?
You have to have brown or black shoes. Well, he thought they worked because they were black, on top.
They're those shoes that a lot of guys wear now that are sports-looking shoes.
With a white sole.
With white sole.
With a white sole.
Yep.
Or white, yeah.
The assistant principal said it specifically says no white soles. They had to be.
Held up his clipboard and pointed to the ordinance.
Jerk. I'm with the assistant principal. Rules must be followed. If Butler was my teacher, I'd say, "You're fired. That's it. You're out of here." How can you do something?
Return to sender.
Horrible.
You put that up in a plane, you fly it over the bush or whatever they call the Alaskan outback, and you drop it.
Looks like nobody's coming to this wedding.
Except for wombats and wallabies.
Looks like you'll be eloping this year. Nobody's going to be there. This is we have the bride-to-be and the postal employee.
We were kind of wondering why we weren't receiving any RSVPs, but we really didn't think much of it.
I saw the notice had been dated for almost 2 weeks, so I'm like, these got to go out because they look like wedding invitations to me.
He was nice enough to pay for the extra postage and put them on there and send them out for us so that we could have some wedding guests at our wedding.
We take care of each other out here.
Take care.
Do we know the amount the postal worker paid?
I looked for that. It was not in any article how much he paid. My guess was they were a few cents short on each one, but there's probably 200 invitations, and he had to cough up that kind of money. But I really don't know. It's a good question how much he came out of pocket. And they've now offered to pay him back, and he said,
"How'd they not get him back to the sender?"
That's what I thought. Don't you send them back?
Now,
Eventually.
Maybe mail in Alaska is vastly different than ours.
Yeah, and
because it's more remote.
They said, "We'll pay you back for this." He said, "Consider it a wedding present," and he did it for them.
Nice.
I say to him, rule breakers ago, it is now 831st as far as names for girls. At one point, it was in the top 10 back in the 70s, 60s. It's not happening anymore. In 1965, it was the third most popular name for a girl, and it's all because, of course, we call people Karen, and they do something.
The culture has changed.
I'll tell you, I fight this. I fight this all the time.
We've had coworkers named Karen, friends named Karen.
I have a dear friend I graduated with named Karen Atwood. I think of her every time I see one of these stories.
How is she taking all this?
Where is she?
I haven't seen her in 32 years.
Oh.
But
I didn't realize you were so close.
Now who's being the Karen?
listen, she's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Of course.
Karen Atwood.
How do you know how life had made her bitter? I haven't seen her in 30 years.
How are you sure
She
she's
may
not?
be a Karen now.
Last time
She
I
could be
saw
in
her-
stir.
Listen, we were graduating. She had the improper footwear on. I told her,
Here's my shoes.
Hey, Atwood.
Take my
Atwood,
14s.
hey, Atwood, you're not walking. She made me really mad because she got into UNC and her parents.
That was your dream
That was my
school.
dream school, and she got in. And her parents said, we don't have enough money. You can't go to UNC. You'll go to Appalachian State, where I was going. And I was like, good, come on with me, Karen. That's fine. We'll be just fine together. And then at the last moment, her parents said, we made it work. You can go to UNC. And she hugged
Who's my
me.
little brother?
Yeah.
You just study hard.
She was jumping up and down going, I'm going to UNC. I said, why don't you take it UNC, Karen? Why don't you go over there? I'll go to Appalachian State and be just fine.
Show you.
That's just fine. She's gone on to great things, but her name is Karen. She's had to overcome it, and I always think of her. And then the other night, 6 weeks ago, I was playing pickleball. Last time I played pickle. This may be why I haven't played
It's receding.
consciously. We were playing, and there was a woman on another court. And she was, I could tell, she was like giving it to her partner, like telling her partner, you could have gotten that, and go this way and that. And some of the guys had played with her before. And they said, and there's Karen over there playing. And I was like, is her name Karen? And he goes, no, that's not her real name's like Sarah, but we all call her Karen. And I said, listen, guys, we
Put down your white claw.
That's right.
There's a lady by the name of Karen Atwood.
I said, fellas,
The sad tale of Karen Atwood.
we just can't.
Karen at Carolina.
I said, Karen, we just cannot do this to these women.
That's hilarious.
Well, I said, is her name Karen? They were like, nah, Sarah something, but she's such a biatch. We all call her
That's
Karen.
better than that bitch.
And I just looked at him and I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, take it right down.
I
for
played my last game of pickleball with you.
Or
Have they not invited you back, or are you boycotting, or a little bit of both?
I think it's a little of both. I think subconsciously I am not back in playing, and it's very, very upsetting, obviously, that happened. Because I am pro the name Karen. I don't think we should put all these people who act foolishly under one name because it hurts all these Karens.
Do you think the same thing is happening with men in Chad?
Not to the same extent.
not to the same. No, I don't think so.
Even,
Because Chadwick Boseman's very cool.
yeah.
I bet you see an uptick.
I don't think with Chad, because I think even guys who act out, they call them like, oh, there's a male Karen. Karen just seems to be the one that you get.
Sometimes it's Chads or Brads, but usually it's just male Karen.
That's right. You can go on to your Peloton bike or treadmill or whatever, and the instructor is there
Right
on
there on your
video.
screen.
Yeah, plays music and says, "All right, come on, here's the exercise we're doing. Here's what else we're doing, etc." Well, and they give like positive pep talks all the time, like, "Hey, we're getting back out there. Get for swimsuit season. Do these exercises, stuff like that." So he was saying, "Get your body in shape for better sex," and here's what. And he got off all into that. And
It's an unusual tangent.
It doesn't make it.
some women are saying, I didn't appreciate that.
I don't appreciate it.
I don't either. That's a. Really,
I think it's over the line.
I think it's an odd thing to say while you're working out. I like the music choice though. I thought that was pretty.
Is
good.
that a pop hit of the day, or do you hear that in your gym?
I do hear it in the gym. I don't know what it is. I
Never heard that song.
I know. I've only heard it in the gym, but he.